back into another edition of Prime Sports World. I'm your host, David On Point Huffman. Right there from the Daily Blitz.blog is the one and only Christian Simpson. Welcome into the show. Please like, share, and subscribe. We are live on YouTube, Twitter, and Twitch right now. So continue to like, share, and subscribe. We're going to work on the Facebook thing. I should have that fixed by tomorrow, so we can be back streaming on the Facebook page. But yeah, welcome to Monday. Welcome to 13 in the NFL as it's quickly gone by. Before we know it, the Super Bowl is going to be here, isn't it, Christian?
Yeah, it really is, man. And there's a lot that caught my eye, David, yesterday. And really this entire weekend of football. I can't wait to discuss it with you.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into some football action. I think TJ Izzy going to be joining us here on the show shortly. We're trying to run this show so I can go get some dinner. I'm ordering a pizza from Marco's. So shout out to Marco's Pizza.
You're ordering the good stuff tonight.
Man, Marco's is pretty good pizza. I don't know if you ever had Marco's.
Yeah, I have. Yeah, when I lived out there, yeah, because I used to live not too far from one.
Yeah, Marco's is pretty solid. I had one in Columbus. There's one real close to my apartment here in Fort Wayne. So let's get this fire started. Let's talk first about Thursday night football. We got the Buffalo Bills rolling into Foxborough and coming out with a 14-point victory, 24-10 over the New England Patriots. Josh Allen, 22 of 33, 223 yards, 2 touchdowns. James Cook, leading rusher for the Buffalo Bills, but Devin Singletary gets the one on the ground. Stephon Diggs, Gabe Davis caught the receiving touchdowns for the Buffalo Bills. Josh Allen did have that one fumble in that game. On the other side of this, Mac Jones, 22 of 36, 195 yards and a tutty. Ramondre Stevenson, leading rusher for the New England Patriots. And Marcus Jones, defensive back, was the leading receiver for the New England Patriots. Catch 51 yards and a touchdown, including that 48-yard touchdown. His first ever touch on the offensive side of the ball goes for 48 yards and a touchdown. But I think that right there is really the bigger problem when it comes to the Patriots. Their leading receiver in this game was a cornerback.
Yeah, they don't have depth amongst their receiver position. If anything, I said this on Monday, even the quarterback. Make sure y'all go check that out, by the way. I have the episode up soon. Shameless plug, baby.
Plug number one. You start the week off hot.
You know what New England needs to do, David? They need to take a page out of Miami and Philadelphia's playbook. Look at what Miami did. Got to with Jalen Waddle, and then got him Tyreek Hill. Then look at what Philly did. Got Jalen Hurts, Devontae Smith, and then turned around and got him A.J. Brown. So you got to build around your young quarterback. And right now, I don't think New England's doing that. I don't know if this is Belichick being stubborn or something, but, it's a pass-happy league, and you need receivers that are going to stretch the field vertically, and they don't have those. That's why you always see Mac Jones stinking and dumping it underneath or throwing those short passes. He really can't stretch the field because he doesn't have that vertical type of threat. And as far as Buffalo, when the Bills play like this, they're a tough out. Finally, I saw some balance. James Cook, Devin Singletary, leading rushers, and Stephon Diggs ran the nastiest route that I think I've seen. Oh, my God. Like, come on, man.
Man, have you seen the touchdown that didn't count? Like, right? The touchdown that didn't count during this game where he was basically Josh Allen made a great play. I think there was some sort of holding call or something of that nature on the play that negated the touchdown, but it was nasty. Like, it was just such a great play.
Yeah, but when Buffalo plays like this, when they're playing downhill, they're playing balanced, they're a tough out. And, I heard a couple things about Von Miller and that knee injury. Honestly, I keep Von out until the playoffs. Rest him. Keep him rested in. I think at this point right now, you kind of need to get that 1 seed if you're Buffalo. The more rest and the more, the more time he has off of that knee, the better I think he's going to be when it matters most.
Because I think if you really look at their schedule in big picture aspect, we're talking about Von Miller going up against the Jets. This game is in Buffalo. Do you need Von Miller to win that game? I'm saying no. I think you could end up losing the Dolphin game regardless if Von Miller plays. I wouldn't play him there either. And I think the Bears I think the Cincinnati Bengals in Cincinnati, if there's a game that I would want Von Miller for, it'd be that game. But everything, the Patriots week after that, you can win without Von Miller. You just proved it on Thursday night. I would rest him till the Bengal game. That's my honest. I wouldn't wait all the way till the playoffs, but I would have him available in that Bengal.
I could understand that, but that's a great win for them. And I know they have 2 more division games after this. But
Three more. They play the
no, but
Jets
2 more in a
also.
row. Remember, they
Or,
had 3 in a
yeah,
row. This was the
yeah,
start of one against New England. Then I know they played the Jets, and then they got a big one with Miami. That could ultimately decide the division.
100%. But yeah, a good win for Buffalo. New England's trending in the wrong direction. Still somewhat in the hunt, but we'll see what ends up happening with them at 6-6 now for the New England Patriots. Moving on to Sunday afternoon. First game on the docket, Pittsburgh Steelers going into Atlanta, coming out the victory 19-16. Kenny Pickett seems to get a little better every single week, a little more familiar with the offense. 60 to 28, 197 yards and a touchdown. Najee Harris, 17 carries for 86 yards. And Pratt Fryermuth led the leading receiver for the Pittsburgh Steelers. 3 catches for 76. Connor Hayward, the brother of Casey Hayward, got the lone receiving touchdown for the Pittsburgh Steelers. On the Atlanta side of this, up and down performance here for Marcus Mariota. 13 and 24, 1 touchdown, 1 pick. Cordell Patterson, 11 carries, 6 yards. Drake London led the team in receiving yards, 9 catches for 95 yards. And Michael Pruitt leading, had the 1 receiving touchdown for this team as Pittsburgh goes on to win another game. Don't be so shy. If they're 5-7, they're right quietly lurking in the outside of the wild card spot as this team is playing their best football probably right now. They need to.
Yeah, they are. And Kenny Pickett is slowly but surely beginning to grasp the concept of the professional game. He's taking better care of the ball, kind of controlling things, handing the ball to Najee Harris, and the defense is doing everything else.
Yeah, I think they're taking. If you see the stiff arm that Najee Harris put on.
Look, man,
was,
look. That's somebody mama's son, okay? Like that's somebody's baby that he like I always say, and TJ always calls me disrespectful for it. They can't be my child.
No. And but I am, I would have liked to have seen George Pickens be more involved in this offense because I got him all over all of my fantasy teams. But this is a good win for Pittsburgh, and if they continue to play this way, I mean, 4 games left in the season, 4 games left in the season. I think they have their bye coming up. I don't think they've had it yet. No, they must have.
I don't know, but look, I'm not gonna rule out Mike Tomlin. He's one of the best coaches in the league for a reason. He's never had a losing season since becoming the Steelers head coach, and they play hard for him. I know it's been a tough year for them, but this Steelers team plays hard.
Yep, and I think Mike Tomlin definitely has that locker room. They continue to play hard, and then for Atlanta, this is a real missed opportunity. I mean, you had Tampa Bay, if they lose tonight, they have a real opportunity to put themselves securely in that wild card hunt, or even for the winner of the division. It's not all totally done for them now, but I think it's going to be hard for them to claw back out of it as they got thoroughly outplayed in this game. Lost time possession, lost total yards, lost turnovers, lost first downs. That's a recipe for disaster.
Exactly. Atlanta, they're too up and down for my liking. Like one week they look good, next week at times they look shaky. Everybody knows who that offense goes through. Cordell Patterson.
Yep, 100%. Moving on from that game, let's talk Bears-Packers as Green Bay mounts the comeback, score 18 points in the fourth quarter to beat the Bears 28-19. Aaron Rodgers had a pretty up and down game here. Not the best completion percentage you see out of him. 18 for 31, 181 yards and a touchdown. A.J. Dillon and Christian Watson both had rushing touchdowns in this game. Christian Watson has been just on a mission over the last 5 weeks. I think he's got 8 touchdowns in the last 5 weeks. So good for him, bouncing back from some early season struggles to really close out the season on a really high note for Allen Lazard, for Christian Watson. 3 catches, 48 yards and a touchdown. I mentioned 1 touchdown on the ground as well. On the Bears side of this, another sort of up and down game for Justin Fields. 20 for 25, 254, and 2 picks. David Montgomery and Justin Fields both had receiving touchdowns or rushing touchdowns. Equinus St. Brown, Chicago Bears. What'd you take away from this, Christian?
I mean, this game went exactly as I thought it would. Because I even remember telling you when we broke this down that It was going to come down to who could run that football more consistently, and it was Green Bay. Aaron Rodgers didn't have to beat Chicago with his arm. He leaned on that two-headed monster, and I'm just happy that he's trusting one of those young receivers because you saw the body language earlier in the year. He's trying to force the ball to them. Throws he make to Devontae Adams, or I'll even take it back here, Jordy Nelson. He's trying to make those passes to these young kids, and you have to get on the same page with these guys. And Christian Watson has really developed, and Aaron Rodgers is turning him in to an NFL receiver. Now, at this point, Green Bay's defense answered the call when they needed to, got those takeaways, got off the field when they needed to, put pressure on Justin Fields, and once again, Aaron Rodgers just shows why he owns the Chicago Bears. That's win number.
But the Bears on every aspect, almost like the more yards, but Green Bay did dominate time possession, 3 turnovers for Chicago Bears. Green Bay did have more first downs than Chicago Bears. This is a game for Chicago. This game you got to win. Yeah, you can't give up 14 points in the fourth quarter or 18 points in the fourth quarter. You got to find. You got to win. Your defense has to mount up and like, hey, our offense is giving us a chance here. We have to play better than this. The defense really let down. That's the way it's been for the majority of the season. Not that we didn't know that the defense was going to struggle this season, but it's become more glaring in the last few
weeks. Yeah, definitely. That was a grinded out win for Green Bay. I really thought the Bears had this one, but like you said, you can't give up 18 points in the fourth quarter and expect to win the game.
Agree with you. Moving on, staying in Sunday afternoon, the Jacksonville Jaguars going into Detroit and going up against the Detroit Lions, getting bounded 40-14 by the Detroit Lions. Trevor Lawrence, really not a great game for him here. 17 of 31, 179 and a touchdown. At least he didn't, throw a pick in this game. And he didn't have any turnovers actually either. So, solid, I guess. Jacksonville on the ground. Travis Etienne, 13 for a 54. And Christian Kirk continues to play well this season, my friend. 6 catches for 104 yards. Evan Ingram had the lone receiving touchdown for the Jacksonville Jaguars. On the Detroit Lions side of this, Jared Goff, another service performance for Jared Goff. 31 of 41, 342 touchdowns. Jamal Williams continues to be a threat on the ground game. Another short touchdown, his 14th on the season. DeAndre Swift also had a touchdown. Amon-Ra St. Brown continues to build on what was a strong rookie season. 2 touchdowns.
Yeah, this is a really impressive win for the Detroit Lions, and they continue to play hard for Dan Campbell. I saw that leg injury for Trevor Lawrence, and I got scared. I had to stop playing, David, because of a leg injury. So anytime I see somebody's leg kind of buckle up underneath them, I get scared. I literally thought that was a torn ligament, but luckily he was able to come back in. But the Lions, they continue to play hard. They continue to run through walls for Dan Campbell, and I think they've kind of taken on that bite the kneecaps type of mentality now.
True. Also welcoming to the show, my co-host, Mr. TJ Hawkins. Welcome to the show, man. Breaking down Jaguars Lions 40-14 on the edge of the Detroit Lions. That's excellent insight. But yeah, I think this also goes in a bigger picture. I actually think that Detroit probably won't go quarterback in this year's draft. I think they're going to roll with Jared Goff at least one more season. Because this running game and this offensive line is really good this season.
Wow, who's been saying that the whole time?
I know, but that's just especially since they keep winning games, they're not going to be attention for those top quarterbacks. Unless they take Anthony Richardson, which just declared late in the game. But any other thoughts on Jaguars Lions before we move on to one of the games of the week? No? All right, good to know. Moving on to another game. We got the New York Jets going into Minnesota and falling 27-22. Mike White, not a good performance here against the Minnesota Vikings. 31-57, 2 interceptions. Zozan Knight, I apologize if I'm pronouncing that name, but he got the start as Michael Carter was out in this game. 15 carries for 90 yards. Mike White also had a rushing touchdown in this game. Garrett Wilson, Jets, 8 catches for 100 yards. On the Minnesota side of this, Kirk Cousins did just enough to win the game. 21 of 35, 173 yards and a touchdown. Dalvin Cook, Alexander Mattison both had rushing touchdowns in this game. Justin Jefferson had the lone receiving touchdown in this game. Thoughts on as the Minnesota Vikings beat the Jets 27?
Well, um, well, let's see. Last time Mike White played a game, he completed what 22 out of 27 passes, something like that, for 315. Not as efficient this game. You threw 57 passes, bro. That's a lot of passes on that arm.
It is. And again, you guys were not fairly by enough to, like, you could have easily ran the ball and been a little more consistent on offense.
All right, 57 pass attempts to 24 run attempts. Zonovan Knight had 15 for 90. That's 6 yards of carry, dude. Like, how do you not keep giving him the ball? Like, let's be honest. Like, the Vikings here, they're winning, but their defense isn't, something to brag home about. We all know that.
I think most people have beat the Minnesota Vikings through the air. And I think the Jets saw that blueprint and were like, okay, I think that's probably the way we're going to have to try to challenge Minnesota. Because their run defense is not terrible.
But you're still not at that level to be like, well, you don't have neither guy at quarterback to be like, all right, go out duel.
Oh, yeah,
Kirk
for sure.
Cousins.
Yeah.
All right, now on the flip side of this, you look at it like this, right? My defense held one of the top receivers in the game to 7 for 45 and a touchdown. We're supposed to win that game, right? Like, the only touchdown that Kirk Cousins threw was to him. We're supposed to win that game. And you had a shot at the end. Braxton Berrios dropped it, but that's the way the cookie crumbles sometimes. Like, that's what it is.
That's just the way it goes sometimes. And nothing you can do. But yeah, I think Minnesota, this is another good victory for them. I mean, this is a team that has had a lot of battles. The games that they've won this season, they've won tough games, battles this season. They got beat by the Jets, they got beat by Dallas, both really good football teams. This is a good Minnesota team.
Yeah, but this show, why I'm not necessarily sold on them because, again, I've been saying it all year. They let teams hang around. They should have put this game away after the first half. They were in control of it, and they let the Jets teeter-totter their way back into the game. But I agree with the both of you. There was just a lack of balance, and the Jets jumped out their box. They're not a team that throws the ball 50 times a game. They're a team that leans on the running game, and they balance things out. And that's the reason why they lost, along with not being able to execute in the red zone, kicking field goals. Like, to beat a team like this with an offense that can light it up and get yards on large chunk plays, you got to come away with 6 when you're in the red zone.
Totally agree with you. Moving on from this game, we're going to talk about the second tie of the NFL season. Washington Commanders going into MetLife Stadium and tying the New York Football Giants 20-all. Tyler, give me a 6-pack of Heineken. Heineke, 27 to 41, 75 to 2 touchdowns. Brian Robinson, lead rusher for the Commanders, 21 for 96. Terry Scary Lawrence, leading receiver for the Washington Commanders, 8 catches for 105 yards. Jahan Dotson also had a touchdown in this game. On the Giants side of this, Daniel Jones, 25 of 31, 200 yards and a touchdown. Saquon Barkley had the lone rushing touchdown for this team. Isaiah Hodgins, had the receiving touchdown for this game. This game ended a tie, 2020, as the Washington Commanders went down the field, tied this game up. Then the game basically went in overtime, and neither team scored. Graham Gano missed the field goal by probably about a yard. If it had been like a 70-yard field goal, he probably would.
Yeah, just seemed like nobody wanted to score. It was a defensive game. It was hard hitting. It was physical. Just don't like when games end in ties. But
I mean, if you're the Commanders, you gotta really feel like you let one slip away. One time possession by near over 13 minutes. Get almost 100 yards more total offense. Get 5 more first downs. The game you should win.
And same with the Giants as well, you guys, because this was actually the best I've seen them look because they jumped out their box. They jumped out their box against the Lions. They struggled and they ran out of gas against Dallas, and they stayed within their lane in this.
Uh, oh, um, I know everybody's mad that this game ended in a tie. I'm slightly mad at it. This is a soapbox that I've been dying on for a while. You can ask David. I've never been a fan of one OT and it ending in that just be the end of it. Eventually they'll do something to rectify that, but you got both teams got to go back and look at where they possibly could have ended this. Like 20-20 is. I'm like how? How does that happen? Right? How? It's just also if I'm the Giants, I'm up 20-13. I understand like it's a lot of time left. 11:30. Basically 11 minutes and 30 seconds. That's a lot of game. It's a lot of game left, and you wait. You let Washington tie it up with 1:45, and you were content with taking it to OT. That's I don't know. It's like ties got to go. Ties got because these are two teams vying for a wild card spot, and there's no telling how this tie is going to hurt them in the future. That's about what? There's about what 4 or 5 games left.
Four games. I
Four
think
four
there's
games
5 left.
left.
Yeah, 5 games left. Some teams have 5. Some teams have.
Right. Some teams have 5. Some teams have 4. Like there's no telling how this is going to hurt either one of them in the future. Like another team that probably is happy they got the tie is Green Bay, but I don't see how that helps them because both of these teams beat Green Bay. So I don't know. Like just go back. And they got to do it all over again. What?
A few weeks, yeah.
A few weeks?
Yeah.
2 weeks from now? Yeah.
Green Bay doesn't have a tie. They have the Colts and the Texans.
And the Giants have the Eagles, and then they play Washington again. So yeah, so like you gotta if you're the Giants.
You know what I always like to see what they would do is if I
What's
would
that?
like after the first overtime they just kind of did like a kickoff kind of like you just like you do a kick from 10 yards, you do a kick from 20, and the first kicker to split.
That's kind of like a shootout and like a penalty shootout in soccer.
Yeah. So you have the kicker, you have both kickers. They started 30 yards. That makes sense. Started 30 yards, then you go to 40, you go to 50, you go to 60, then you go to like 65, and then 70.
Okay.
And
So like my question to that is is this just the kickers themselves, or is this like both?
no, it's like you have the line. I mean, the kick can get blocked. I mean, you just have
okay. That's
kickers.
okay. That's
like a straight up kicker duel.
That's what I was asking. That's what I wanted to ask. Like that's it. But like it's
I
don't know. It's
the tie is horrible.
It's 2022. No game should ever end in a tie.
That means soccer too. Moving on to the one of the beatdowns, the Sunday afternoon beatdowns. Philadelphia Eagles and the AJ Brown revenge game put a thumping on the Tennessee Titans, 35-10. Ryan Tannehill, 14-22, 141 yards and a touchdown. He was their leading rusher, which is not a good sign at all. Their tight end was their leading receiver. Treylon Burks had a really impressive touchdown that he may have gotten hurt on during. So hopefully he's okay. And then over on the Philadelphia side, Jalen Hurts continues his strong play here. 29-39, 3 touchdowns. Then Miles Sanders rushing touchdown. Jalen Hurts a rushing touchdown. A.J. Brown, 8 catches, 119 yards, 2 touchdowns. The 1 touchdown he caught in this game was just absurd. Like, it's like if you haven't seen it, go check it out. It's amazing. Defenders all over him. He just catches it like, oh, A.J.
Well,
Brown.
I like it. I like it because like he scored one he was wide open on, but that got called back for a penalty, and they're like, it's okay. We're coming right back to you. And he literally scored on the next play. So that's just Tennessee is like they're an enigma, right? Like they are like that's exactly what they are. Like they're good enough to beat some teams, but they're not good enough to beat teams like Philly, built like Philly, right? Where it's just talent left and right, and they can't they can't keep up. Ryan Tannehill is not going to be able to outduel a team like the Eagles and Jalen Hurts when it's Pro Bowl corner, Pro Bowl safety, and not to mention whatever, like all the litany of stuff they have up front. And his receiving core, to David's point, is not the best. I don't. You sacked him
They have
6
nothing.
times.
They have nothing this
They
year.
have nothing outside.
Outside of Derrick Henry, there's no part of that offense I'm scared of when he plays the Tennessee Titans. I'm not to mention, I'm going to load up the box. I'm going to force if Ryan Tannehill throws has an amazing game like he did against Green Bay, as TJ always likes to say, I'm walking to the middle of the field, shaking his hand, telling him he had a good game. Anybody but Derrick Henry, and I'm not afraid of any of them. In on the Tennessee Titans, any other one.
I thought this was the best win of the year for the Philadelphia Eagles, just because of how complete and how strong they were, because they won the line of scrimmage on both sides of the ball. They were downhill. The Titans said, look, we're going to dare Jalen Hurts to beat us. And he accepted that challenge. A.J. Brown had this game circled on his calendar. The Eagles are clicking right now, and they look scary. When they play like this, they're going to be a tough out.
Definitely agree with you, but Philadelphia is just, I think they're just at the tip of the iceberg. How good they moving on to, I think this is the late afternoon window. I cannot remember. Baltimore Ravens.
This is a 12 o'clock game. Sorry to cut you off. Go ahead.
Baltimore Ravens continue to as Denver continues to have the most disappointing season in the NFL this year. They fall 10-9 to the Baltimore Ravens, a game that you should win. Lamar Jackson gets hurt early, and Tyler Huntley came in and played okay. 27 of 32, 187 yards and a pick. James Brosai came in and threw a pick too. I don't know. Taylor Huntley, leading rusher. He also had the rushing touchdown. Mark Andrews, of course, leading rusher, receiver for the Baltimore Ravens. On the Denver side of this, Russell Wilson, 17 of 22, 189 yards, no touchdowns, no picks. Latavius Murray, 17 of 47, no touchdowns. Greg Dulcich, tight end, 6 catches, 85 yards, no touchdowns at all for Denver. Entire game. Somehow that happened. I don't know what to say about Denver.
I just saw Baltimore playing down to their competition, which they've done. I mean, they did that last week against Jacksonville. And if there were ever a game for them to get right,
man, I ain't trying to hear that. Russell Wilson lost to Tyler Huntley. What you talking about? Russell Wilson Lamar got hurt. Lamar got hurt. And Denver still couldn't put it together and win.
Yeah.
Right? Like, come on, man. Like,
TJ, you see, I don't even sing the song every time I talk about Russell now.
Right. He ain't worth it. He ain't worth it.
He's not.
Like Stephen A.
To say the Russell Wilson experience, season 1 in Denver hasn't gone well would probably be the understatement of the year.
And what's sad is, bro, they first round picks. They don't have them for
2 years.
2 years, right? So this,
Seattle is going to have a top 5 pick, and
3.
It won't be there. And it won't be theirs.
They're 3, right? So it the draft order right now, like the top 3 at least is Houston, Chicago, Seattle, via Denver. So Seattle's going to add another piece to a shockingly good roster. Like David, remember, we gave them hell because they only had 5 picks in the entire draft last year. They hit on every single pick. 100%. Every single pick has been really good, and they're contributing. They literally have a kid I think their corner, their 5th round corner, is a candidate for defensive rookie of the year.
We'll get to Seattle. We'll get to Seattle here in a minute. But yeah, Denver is just. We'll talk about that more in the offseason.
Do you Hackett's probably gonna get fired, right?
I think you can get the probably out
of it. Hackett will get fired.
He's for sure getting fired. There's no way they can.
Right, this is
Moving on to the Cleveland Browns going into Houston, beating the Houston Texans 27-14. That quarterback for Cleveland, 12 of 22, 131 yards and a pick. Nick Chubb, leading rusher for the Cleveland Browns, 17 of 80. Donovan Peoples-Jones was the leading receiver, but he had a punt return actually, for a touchdown in this game. This is, I think, like the first time a team scored 27 points didn't score an offensive touchdown in the entire game. Kyle Allen really up shaky performance here. 20 of 39, 201, one touchdown, 2 picks. Dameon Pierce continues to play pretty well here. 18 of 73, 4 yards of carry. Chris Moore, 3 catches, 46 yards. Nico Collins had the lone receiving touchdown. Yeah, this is a straight up, like, Deshaun Watson wasn't good in this, and the Cleveland Browns still won by handily, easily.
You're not wrong.
Like, he wasn't remotely good. Like, yet Cleveland won.
So the only thing I have a question about is, did they take a touchdown from the Texans? Because like there was a play where Deshaun Watson went to throw the ball, and the ball went backwards, and a Houston player scooped it up and ran it in. Like that was supposed to be a touchdown, but I guess it wasn't because they took it off. And I'm like, I'm not saying Houston wins because like if that's still a touchdown, because it's probably not. They probably still lose 27-21. But yeah, this is what I was going to say about the Bears and the Packers. Like you're a bad team. Bad teams find ways to lose the game. You lost to a team, the Texans. You lost to a team that didn't score an offensive touchdown. Right, the offense was out there, and they put like now touchdown drive together. Right, Donovan Peoples-Jones scored on the punt return. You had a scoop and score,
and a pick six,
and the rest were field goals.
And the offense put up 2 field goals.
And the offense put up.
Welcome into the show, CEO of Time Sports World, Mr. Israel Vera. Welcome to the show.
Man, I'm glad to be here, ladies. Gentlemen. Yeah. I did. When I look at this game, check it out, man. I knew Deshaun Watson was going to struggle. Maybe a lot of that stuff, the outside stuff was kind of getting to him. But also, he hasn't played in 700 days, so you're going to see that rust. But yeah, no, TJ is exactly right, man. I don't know. Bad teams always find a way to lose games. I don't know how the hell you lose this game, but hey, look, I'll tell you, my fantasy team was loving Cleveland's defense. I'll say that right now.
Mine too. It was like 40 fantasy points. Like 40.
Here's the thing, David. I can't wait till Wednesday, baby. I have nothing else to say about this game.
Alvin Kamara is going to have 6 touchdowns tonight.
No, he's not. You stop that noise. You stop that noise over there.
Moving on. Go ahead, TJ. Get it out. Moving on to these.
I thought I actually had a point. I didn't have any points to say. I just came in there and just wanted to crash the party.
Moving on to 2 teams going in opposite directions. We got the Seattle Seahawks going into SoFi Stadium, beating the Los Angeles Rams 27-23. Geno Smith, 28 of 39, 237, 3 touchdowns and a pick. Kenneth Walker III unfortunately got injured early in this game and did not recover. DJ Dallas held the job for him, 10 carries for 37 yards. Tyler Lockett, K. Metcalf, Noah Fant, all receiving touchdowns for Seattle Seahawks. On the Rams side of this, John Wolford, 14 of 26, 178 yards, 2 interceptions, including that crazy one from Bobby Wagner, where he basically took it away from Kyren Williams, the running back there for Los Angeles Rams. Cam Akers had 2 touchdowns on the ground in this game. Tutu Atwell played pretty well in this game, actually. The second-round pick from a season ago, looking pretty good down the stretch here. 2 catches, 48 yards, 30 was as long as the Rams went on. Seattle continues to be what is surprisingly good season.
First off, thoughts out to Matt Stafford. Spinal contusions are not something that you want to deal with. I've never had one, but anything concerning the spine is something to be wary of. What did I say earlier? Bad teams find a way to lose a game. Well, the Rams are now a bad team, right? I never thought Right?
Hey,
Hey,
TJ.
sir.
I was gonna say this. I was gonna say this. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I'm gonna put my place on the camera. I got a friend on here. You know, one of my in my Facebook, my like kind of football family and friends that I talk to a lot. And I got Rams fans. Check this one out, TJ. I got
Hmm.
Rams fans that are clamoring that they wished they had Jared Goff back.
Hey,
Wouldn't
man.
that ain't that some ain't that something though? Ain't that something though? Ain't that something though? They were yelling to the horns to get this guy out
Out of
of
there.
LA, out of there, just to get Matt Stafford. None more. Matt Stafford's had a injury riddled year. Same defense
Hmm.
is bad, but now this team, this is a fan base that is that this what you get. This is what you get now. Jared Goff kind of been healthy, been balling a little bit for Detroit.
A
And
little bit.
yeah, I know he been balling a little bit. He been balling a
No,
little
but
bit this season.
here's the thing, right? Like most of the time, Jared Goff is there. They had a contending roster, so it's championship or bust. It's playoff or bust. He go to Detroit. There is no playoff expectations. He can play free, and on
Yeah,
top of that,
I mean, they had for sure hit their ceiling under Jared Goff. I don't even.
yeah,
But talking about this particular game, I think this is more about the upswing of Seattle. I mean, the Rams,
Yeah,
their quarterbacks are down. John Wolford's not good.
hey, I
Um,
know, I knew something was like, well, not something, but the change of the guard was coming when Geno Smith motions DK Metcalf into he calls DK Metcalf into motion. What does he do? He waves at Jalen Ramsey, hey, follow me. I want you to follow me. Like you doing all this talking, like, no, follow me.
yeah,
That
he
was
oh
so.
yeah,
That
that's
was so.
another one.
That was
DK
so.
Metcalf also
I'm
had a
a,
15-yard penalty on that play.
when's Father's Day? When's Father's Day again?
June, I think. Ain't that, that's like in June.
June.
Yeah.
Jalen Ramsey. Jalen Ramsey, you're gonna have to give your father a present. DK Metcalf
Look,
on June. So
that was so disrespectful. So look, I'm in the theme of just saying, come on, man, that's somebody's grandchild. Don't do that. Don't embarrass them. Like, no, he has
And yeah,
kids.
Tyler Lockett had a good game here, and yeah, Seattle continues to play
Nah,
well, and like
nah,
they're gonna be trouble.
but seriously, Jalen Ramsey got kids. He just embarrassed the father. Like, that's rude.
I said, no, come on now, come on now. DK Metcalf made
I
made
think
that man his son.
DK Metcalf has made a lot of people look bad so far.
But you know what's crazy? He did it so nonchalantly.
He did
Like,
right.
Yes.
Like he goes into motion and says, all right, he waves, he like,
saying, look, nah, follow your ass this
Like
way.
he just puts his hand up, like, let's go, come on, we're going over here.
That's so dead. Look, come on, man. Come on, man. I hope his
And
baby
he
mama.
scored the game winning touchdown on him too. I mean,
Dude,
Jesus, come on, man.
Look, I hope Jalen's baby mama put his ass on the couch for that.
No, that's for sure. That's for sure. Gino 367, 3 touchdowns.
yeah.
Man, come on.
Come on, man.
He's
Come on,
sure,
man.
He's sure in the MVP conversation. Moving on from this,
Ooh.
I didn't think he was gonna win it. He's in the conversation.
Ooh.
No, he's definitely in the conversation. I like that.
Lord have mercy.
Moving on from this game, we got the Miami Dolphins falling to the San Francisco 49ers, 33-17. Before we get into some stats here, Jimmy Garoppolo did get hurt injury, early broken ankle. Thoughts are out to him. Hopefully he can get better. Brock Purdy came in. Actually played pretty well in this game. But as TJ always says, nobody has film, especially on this guy who is Mr.
Irrelevant.
They didn't think he was gonna play.
Nobody has film on Brock Purdy. They have film on him now. Let's see what he looks like in a couple of weeks. But in this game, 25-37, 210 yards, touchdowns, and a pick. And then Chris McCaffrey was a monster in this game. He had a 66-yard rushing, 80 yards receiving, and a touchdown. The other one was called by Kyle Juszczyk. On the Miami side, an unfamiliar game here for Tua Tagovailoa, where he turned it over a bunch. 18 of 33, 295, 2 touchdowns, and 2 interceptions. And they basically abandoned the running game really early in this one. Only 8 total carries for the team combined. That's pretty not really Miami style.
You going against the
Tyreek
best
Hill,
defense in the league.
Yeah, Tyreek Hill, Trent Sherfield had the receiving touchdowns. Tua Tagovailoa also lost the fumble.
The 2 interceptions that he threw were bad too.
Yeah, like a really.
I mean, he overthrew his guy, tip pass.
A really unto a like game here.
So this is what people have been asking, not asking for, but this is what people have been saying about Tua, right? Like when you look at most of the defenses that the Dolphins have played, Texans bad, Browns nah, Bears nah, Lions meh, Steelers meh,
Ravens
terrible defense.
Ravens in the early in the season were terrible, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, right. You literally lost to Buffalo because they ran out of time. If it wasn't for Stephon Diggs cramping up on the field, you probably would have lost that one too with a walk-off field goal. But you finally play a defense that can hang with you, right? Like they can create the pressure up front. They got pass rushes. Nick Bosa, name a pass rusher, they got it. They got the safeties that can play over the top. I mean, Tyreek Hill still burnt them, but that's what Tyreek Hill does, right? He gonna get like he gonna get you at least once. But you started off the game, boom, out the gate, 75 yards, first play, 75 yards to what's his name?
Sherfield.
Yeah, Trent Sherfield. Right, 10 seconds into the game, 10 seconds. So it's like, oh, okay, we like no, and then it just snowballed, man. Like coming out of the half, it was what 17-10 going into the half, and then all of a sudden 20-10, 23-10, 23-17, 26-17, then 33-17. It probably didn't even feel all that close.
I watched this game for most of it live. Yeah, this game didn't feel
like it didn't feel all that close, right? Like I had KC and Cincinnati on, like we'll get to literally the next game. But yes, if I'm San Fran, Jimmy's done for the season. Lance is done for the season. I'm not going the rest of the season with Brock Purdy and Jacob Eason. Not doing it.
Got released today.
Baker did get released today.
You probably
don't nobody want Baker. Oh,
no. Trash can juice. No, you got to on the bottom.
I think that's going to happen. I mean,
let me tell you something.
I mean, you're not going to waste a championship level defense by having a question mark at quarterback. I mean,
yeah, but who else you going to stop? Who else? This is the thing, though, David, TJ, Christian. Mm-hmm. Who else you going to bring in that's gonna, at this junction of the year that's going to learn this offense that fast? Baker Mayfield? No,
it's got to be.
I'm not bringing in Baker. I'm not bringing in Baker.
So you rocking with Brock?
Well, I'm rocking with Brock Purdy. I'm rocking with Brock Purdy because this is all I'm telling Brock Purdy to do. Look, just all you gotta do is manage the game. Look, I've seen Brock Purdy. I've seen Brock Purdy for 4 years out of Iowa State. He's the greatest Iowa State quarterback in program history.
Is that really saying much? Is that saying much?
No. But he's the all-time winningest quarterback in Iowa State history as well. He took them to 4 bowl games, bro. So my thing is,
this is a championship level roster with a championship level defense. I'm not gonna roll the dice with Brock Purdy having that much unknown with how he's gonna perform in big moments. I'm gonna sign Baker Mayfield.
You gotta let him play a game. You gotta let him play another game. He didn't play bad this game. 26-37.
As we talk about, nobody prepares for Brock Purdy.
But here's the thing. This is what they got left. Tampa, Seattle, Washington, Vegas, Arizona.
They're going to be a run-heavy team that plays good defense, and they're going to ask Brock Purdy to throw the ball. They're not going to ask him to throw it downfield, but they're going to ask him to just make sure you get it to Debo, get it to Brandon Ayuk, get it to Christian McCaffrey in space.
I'm not even talking about the rest of this regular season. It's just about the playoffs. If you want to win playoff games, you have to be able to throw the football.
When Jimmy went down, their title hopes went down too. That's just the reality of the situation. They're not winning the Super Bowl no more. Rather than get Baker Mayfield.
I would roll the dice with Baker Mayfield. I would.
No, David, they're not winning the Super Bowl with Baker Mayfield. They're not winning it with Brock Purdy. So this season, they're going to go to the playoffs. They might win a playoff game just off the defense and running attack. And they may make it to maybe the NFC, maybe division. They may make it to the division game, maybe. But this team playoff hopes, this Super Bowl championship hopes went down the drain yesterday already. It doesn't matter who you bring in.
I'm rolling the Baker Mayfield side.
Hey, because I'm telling you right now, if they gotta play a team like Dallas again in Dallas, they're going home. They're going home.
Who's going home?
San Francisco.
Oh, you out your goddamn mind.
You out your mind, bro. Hell no.
You out your mind.
Hell no. Because that defense, bro. That defense. That's the best defense in the league.
No, Dallas has the best defense in the league.
Oh, perfect except Dallas. What?
Oh, he did.
Yeah,
It's disrespectful. Man, look. Hold on. No. Look. Check this out. The Baltimore Ravens.
What about them?
Back in 2000. Back in 2000.
Irrelevant.
No. Ain't no comeback. This is how your defense is winning championships.
Moving on to Kansas City. A rematch of the AFC Championship game against the Cincinnati Bengals. The Bengals, Joe Burrow, 3-0 against Patrick Mahomes. This game, 27-24, the exact same score as the AFC Championship game. Patrick Mahomes, 16-27, 223 yards and a touchdown. Isaiah Pacheco rushing touchdown for Isaiah Pacheco. Patrick Mahomes also had one. And then Jerick McKinnon had the lone receiving touchdown for the Kansas City Chiefs. And Joe Burrow, Joe Cool, 25 of 31, 286, 2 touchdowns. Joe Burrow also had a rushing touchdown in this game. T. Higgins and Captain America had the receiving touchdowns for the Cincinnati Bengals. If they kind of had
Who the
hell is Captain America? Chris Evans. Oh my goodness. That just went right over my head there. Oh my gosh.
Chris Evans, Captain America.
Oh my gosh. David, you better not ever again.
See, first off, in NFL terms, Tom Brady is Captain America, but that's not.
But anyway, Cincinnati has the Kansas City Chiefs number here a little bit as they beat them 3 straight times.
Three in a row. Hey,
how big was that fumble as they were driving with Travis Kelce? That was huge. Yeah, that was a hell of a play. That was a hell of a defensive effort right there to rip that ball away.
This probably must have been like the most clean game the Cincinnati Bengals front did in protecting Joe Burrow. Joe Burrow only got sacked one time. I don't know how many times he got hit, but he only got sacked one time.
He got hit one other time.
He got hit one other time, so he got hit a combined 2 times. This is when you get through with all the window dressing and all mooning and awing over Patrick Mahomes, and you really look at this roster, you can see what will hinder them. Right? Pat Mahomes is the makeup, the blemish, the blush, he's the powder, he's all that stuff that people put on their face to hide the ugliness. And because when it comes down to it, defensively, this team can get back. If Chris Jones ain't getting home and Frank Clark, if they not getting home, I'm not worried about nobody else.
And,
I'm not even that worried about Frank Clark. He hasn't been that good this year.
And to elaborate on that one, I had Cincinnati winning this game because they're such a tough out for Kansas City. And the one thing people don't realize about the Bengals is Cincinnati is sneaky physical. They'll hit you. Look at what they did to Derrick Henry last week. Every time Derrick thought he had a lane, they plugged those lanes and they pushed his big ass down. Okay? I just want to say that and get that out the way. But, Kansas City, yesterday, Cincinnati, they did exactly what they did in the AFC title game. Rush 3, had that spy in the middle to mirror Patrick Mahomes, and drop everybody back in coverage. They keep the explosive plays from Kansas City all underneath. You guys notice that? When they play, and on top of that, to TJ's point, to play Cincinnati, you cannot blitz Joe Burrow because he gets rid of the ball so quickly, and he is a mastermind at attacking man coverage. And once he gets rid of that ball, it's over. Speaking of Cincinnati's offense, you just see the impact that Jamar Chase has on this entire group, especially in the red zone. He's one of the best red zone threats in the league.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I definitely believe that, Cincinnati is pretty much the toughest test, other than Buffalo to Kansas City. I still think Kansas City can win this, can win the AFC. But they have to match Cincinnati's, physical style. Like you said, they got to bring it to them in the trenches, and they can't make mistakes. I mean, that fumble that Travis Kelce, had, like I said, was big time. As they had some momentum there. I do like the fact they do got a running back that can match some physicality that the Bengals do bring. He gives them a little bit of nasty on the offensive end, but we need to see a little bit. We need to see a little more of it, in the game. They had 16 carries. I don't know, they had 25 carries, 138 yards. He had 14 of them. I wish they probably would have did a little bit more of that run between the tackles a little bit, but at the same time, man, I got to give it to Cincinnati, man. And Jamar Chase said it well. Joe Burrow, hey, he might be not one of the best, if not the best quarterback in the NFL. When he has a clean pocket, yeah, when he has a clean pocket, I mean, look at him, 25 of 31, 286 yards, 2 touchdowns. He only got sacked once, 126.6 quarterback rating. 71.2 quarterback rating, but 126.6 rating. That's damn near playing almost a perfect game right there. And he was clean. Joe Burrow, when he's upright and he's clean and you're not pressuring him, man, he's probably the best quarterback out there playing football.
Moving on from this game, we got the last game in the late afternoon window. We got the Los Angeles Chargers going into the Death Star and falling 27-20 to the Las Vegas Raiders. Multiple opportunities for the Chargers to punch this in and tie this game, take it into overtime, or even win it for point conversion. Could not convert back-to-back fourth downs. Even when they got the ball the first time, had the ball the second time, could not convert. Justin Herbert, an up-and-down game here for him. 28 of 47, 335, 1 touchdown. Austin Eckler, 10 carries for 35 yards. Keenan Allen, good game for him here as he has a receiving touchdown. Justin Herbert also had 2 fumbles. Derek Carr, on the other hand, 16 of 30, 50 touchdowns. Josh Jacobs, another big game for Josh Jacobs. The Chargers cannot stop the run to save their lives. 144 yards and a touchdown. And Devontae Adams gave the Chargers and my fantasy team the business this week. 177 yards and 2 touchdowns, including a really nice flea flicker in back-to-back weeks for Devontae Adams and Derek Carr. But yeah, the Chargers let that one slip away. They had an opportunity to really cement themselves in like the hunt of the wild card. This is a big game to lose.
Hey, sometimes, this team cannot stop the run to save their life. Sometimes you guys gotta look at the man in the mirror, and sometimes it's about pride, man. You gotta stay up. You gotta, God damn it, I'm not gonna let this dude run all over me. I'm not gonna let these damn teams run all over me. I was watching the Tyson Fury and Darren Chisora fight, and Andre Ward said something very similar to kind of what I just said. Like, when you're a professional, there's got to be a point in time where you just don't let somebody just keep on beating the hell out of you, right? And that's the damn LA Chargers. Just a point in time, you're all professionals. There's a point in time where it's like, damn it, we can't let what's his name? We can't let Josh Jacobs run all over us for 144 damn yards and make it and just drag defenders and bully us like this. This game, they got down too early. That touchdown pass though on 4th down by Justin Herbert was one of the best plays I've seen all season long. So that's the one plus I gotta give the Chargers. I mean, if you guys haven't seen it, I know you guys seen it. This is the only touchdown he threw to Keenan Allen, but it was magnificent. I mean, oh my God.
This is what's disappointing about the well, both of them really. This is what's but namely speaking, this is what's disappointing about the Chargers because they have glimpses of what like the kind of team they could be. Like, can you imagine that pass, like the Herbert to Keenan Allen pass? Can you imagine that happening all season long if Keenan Allen just stays healthy?
I mean, both these teams, I mean, they have flashes of brilliance. Like,
that's what I'm saying. Like both teams have flashes of brilliance, and it's just like that's what's so frustrating because it's like we know what y'all can be. we know what y'all can be. Like we expected this division to be the hardest one in all the football because of all the moves that everybody made, minus the Kansas City Chiefs because they lost moves. They lost players rather than bringing people on, and they're still head and shoulders the best team in this division. Right? They lost their best offensive weapon, and they're still 9-3, winning the division. The Chargers made defensive moves to help them because that was a problem last year. The Raiders got the best receiver in the game in Devontae Adams, and they're 5-7, 6-6, and Denver is Denver, still trying to figure it out, which is sad.
Christian.
You just see that the Chargers aren't mentally there. Like they're not mentally there to finish games. I know there was a lot of hype surrounding them, but I never saw it. The Raiders, look, I can't bash them like I want to, but they still trash.
You can.
You can get yes, can.
You
still bash them.
Look, they still trash, but they're playing better. And Devontae Adams, he's him. Like he's him.
He is him.
He's him. H-I-M.
He's definitely him.
For sure, he's definitely him. Moving on to the final game of the weekend so far.
Wait, David, do we really have to talk about this?
Well,
I don't want to hear David gloat about how great this defense is. Because come on,
it is a really good defense. But Dallas welcomes to the Indianapolis Colts, wins 54-19. Hey, what are you guys eating for the Monday Night Football game?
I gotta figure that part out. I'm literally about to step out to go get me something.
Hey, but hold on.
I'm about to order myself a pizza, man.
I might get a Chipotle bowl, like on some real.
You know what? I'm gonna say this about the game. You know what? I did like the touchdown celebration that Zeke and
I'm gonna say
Dak
this.
did.
No,
that was a good one.
You know what the crazy thing about this game is, like, this was relatively close.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what I was getting to. Like
semi-close up until the fourth quarter, and then the Colts just imploded. Like they
that's what I was getting
every
to.
time they had it. Like
that's what I was getting to. Like it was 21-19. It was 21-19. Dak throws what everybody thought was an interception, but instead the referees call it an incomplete pass. And because it was called an incomplete pass, Jeff Saturday and the crew couldn't challenge it. Because that was a clear interception. So what the ref was supposed to do was call it an interception so they can go review it and then deem it an incomplete pass. But that was an interception that Dak threw, and everybody knows that they got away with one. I'm not saying that's why what happened, but not too long after that, that's when the snowball just turned into an avalanche.
He scored 5 touchdowns.
Bro, I'm so serious. Like they deemed that interception an incomplete pass, and then all of a sudden they scored literally every drive after that.
It looked like it for sure hit the ground.
That did not hit the ground, dude. Like the coach was underneath the ball. Like that was an interception. That should have been an interception.
54-19 is like a college score. That's like that's like Oklahoma and
like some stuff
Kansas.
Because you gotta remember, Indy had just scored on the drive prior to that. Alec Pierce caught the touchdown.
Yeah, a really nice play.
A really nice one, by the way. And then that you think you finna get the ball back in, and you finna get your offense back on the field, but it's like, no, we're not even gonna deem that worthy of being looked at.
Well, you could have challenged it.
They couldn't. They ruled it an incomplete pass.
You could still challenge it.
No, they couldn't. They said it last night. No, they couldn't. They could not have challenged that.
That doesn't make any sense. I guess they could have.
No, David. I'm telling you what they said on the broadcast. They didn't. They couldn't have challenged it because it was deemed. They ruled it incomplete.
This is a dead ball. Jeff Saturday is all aboard the struggle bus.
Oh, for sure. He is 100%.
All the way back to ESPN.
That's been
he
our week
is
3
holding
so far.
the trash can. He is.
This has been our week 3 so far recap. Hopefully things work out for you for Monday Night Football as we're going to break that game down tomorrow. And then we're going to talk about week number 14 as we get into it. I've been David Huffman, my co-host right there, Mr. TJ Hopkins, the CEO of Prime Sports World, Mr. Israel Vera, and from the Daily Blitz blog, Mr. Christian Simpson. Gentlemen, what do we do here at the Proud, my friends?
We take out the trash. That's what we do.
We bring the heat, ladies and gentlemen.
Heat,
and
baby.
Facebook needs to free me, baby. Free me.
Yeah,
all the way.
All the way.
Free me.
We'll be back here tomorrow.
Crazy.
Have a good night, guys. Peace out.
Somebody from Utah was hating on me.